There are different things that you can do with a Padlet. What I've done here is I've uploaded a background so it looks like paper. You can upload a map, you can upload a picture, you can do all kinds of things. So this was a Padlet that I created. So once you guys get here, what I want you to do is I want you to just click anywhere here and just introduce yourself so that we know that you found it. Maybe just type your name and put it anywhere. So you just do a double left click, just a regular quick click. And then type. And then you'll start to see other people. Oh, we all clicked in the same place. How can that be? Because that was the empty space. And then you can move. You can move your things.
I think you can only move your own.
I think you can move anyone's. No, you can only move your own?
Yeah, that's what my students told me.
Oh, I can move Gladys.
Oh, because you own it.
Because I own it, okay. So because you're a guest, you can only move your own, what you posted. If you are the teacher, if you are the host, then you can move all of them. That makes sense. Okay. So again, this is more something that you would use as a professional, but start thinking about how you can use it in the classroom. You guys didn't have to sign into Padlet. You didn't need to create an email. You didn't need a username and password. That's always very cumbersome, especially for the young ones, right? You just needed a web address. The kids need to be able to go to it, and then they can start collaborating. What kinds of things could you do on an empty Padlet? Absolutely. What if I had a category?
Real time how they're doing.
Yeah, and real time, right? Have a category, questions. Okay, guys, write questions and put it underneath the question category. Statements, right? Anything that you would sort.
Okay. And there's also, if you noticed, when you double click to start, you can also add an image, a video, a map. So the kids, or upload a file. So you could also make them add examples that they actually had or that you want them to go find on a particular website.
Mm-hmm.
So in addition to just commenting, if they click
There's a
on
file.
upload a file or add a URL, now, so if I asked them about a country we were studying, I could tell them that they all had to go out and find an image,
Mm-hmm.
and they could go out and get that, and those would go on there too.
Okay, just a place to organize. And really, it's a matter of getting the kids used to a lot of the skills that they're going to need to know when they're taking that smarter balance, like the clicking and the dragging and the right click and the upload and the save, those kinds of things. Skills that we take for granted, and we don't have a lesson. There's no lesson, or we don't have any curriculum on how to teach kids how to save and click and drag, but we need to give them that exposure. Right? So doing something like this, even the little ones can do it. Because again, no email, no login. They just need to be able to type in a web address. You would create an account. You would just go to padlet.com. Did I spell it right?
You can build a wall
Without an account?
an account.
Oh, it just wouldn't be.
You don't have as much control over.
Yeah.
Um,
Because see, if I build a new wall, I have a lot more options. One of those options being the background, so the wallpaper. So if I wanted to upload a map of whatever I'm studying, California, and let's say I'm doing missions, I can find, if I had a map of California, find it, upload it, and that would be my background. And then, okay, now let's place the missions or whatever. It could be anything. It could be a Venn diagram. It could be some kind of a graphic organizer. You can upload it and use that as your background. So that's the benefit to having an account, that you have those kinds of controls. Okay. So what I did was I create one, and then I share. It's just
Because
click on this blank, right?
you don't even have to change it. It's just that this is very difficult.
Yes.
But when I tested this for the first time, I gave it to seniors. So I just
clicked build a wall, and I told them to type this exactly as it read, and they all got in. None of us had accounts.
Yeah.
They were seniors, number
Yes.
one. Number two, they are anonymous, so if they choose not to type their name, you don't know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
So there is that. So that's
That
where having an
accountability.
account is helpful. If you make your kids have an account, if you have an account, at least then they can't be anonymous in the things that they post.
But if it isn't an anonymous post or an inappropriate post, if you had an account, you could go in and delete it. Because the host can move and do all of that, right? So what I do, because that, if you look at that web address, can you imagine? Okay, kindergartners, D, no, not the B, not the P, the D, right? Because it's just random, meaningless letters. So what I do is I always, I go to tinyurl.com, and what that does is it's a place to, instead of having a random URL like that, I just go to tinyurl.com, and it's free. I don't even have to have an account. I go here, copy my address, this long address, Control-C, or you know how to right-click copy, okay? Then I come to tinyurl.com, and I paste in that long URL here, and then I can put in room 13. Sometimes you have to be pretty creative, because if I think about how many times I'm going to use a different Padlet, I don't want it always to be room 13. So maybe room 13 rocks, because we're studying rocks, not because they rock, right? I can create that. Now if I made this tiny URL, the kids would type in tinyurl.com/room 13 rocks. And that is a little bit easier to type because there's meaning to it, as compared to DM3XO. Is that an O or a 0, right? So that's how I do it, and that's how I created this. And so now every time, no matter, next year I can come here and it will still take me to the same place. No matter where you go, if you go to this computer, a computer outside of the school, your phone. And so I like to do this for the little ones who have a hard time with those random letters.